Columbia leaders discussed the possibility of forming a community housing trust, which would create affordable house care for Columbia residents. How you can help keep the Columbia Fire Department red all winter long. And MoDOT gears up for the possibility of snow.
Speaking of that possibility of snow, it's the first true winter storm for the state of Missouri happening today, but it shouldn't be affecting much of mid-Missouri. We'll talk about the latest. KOMU 8 News at noon starts now.
From Studio 8A, coverage you can count on in high definition. This is KOMU 8 News at noon.
I look forward to engaging across the state with all institutions here, both 2 and 4 years appropriate, but going beyond the state as well, to national, international relationships that already you have in place in many cases.
The University of Missouri officially has a new leader. Good afternoon, I'm Elena O'Connell. UM System President Tim Wolf announced today that Texas A&M's President R. Bowen Lofton will become MU's new chancellor. Right now, Lofton is holding a news conference. We'll have more on him later on KOMU 8 News at noon. Community leaders in Columbia met this morning to discuss the possibility of forming a community housing trust. The trust would create more affordable housing for Columbia residents. KOMU 8's Eric Stoyanov has more from the meeting.
Rebecca Buford, the executive director of the Lawrence, Kansas Community Housing Trust, spoke with Columbia leaders about the trust's work to produce and sustain affordable housing in Lawrence. Some of the features of the Lawrence Community Housing Trust are loans, which require a stable income and payment history. Other features include occupancy and resale restrictions that say a house must remain occupied by an owner. This restriction also says the resale price is based on the initial buyer's sale price plus 25% of the market appreciation of the home. The trust also uses a $25 lease fee per month and $25 maintenance fee that can be used as an emergency maintenance fund. Phil Steinhaus, the Columbia Housing Authority Chief Executive Officer, says this plan is good for Columbia.
I think this model works very well for Columbia. It does help preserve affordable housing for working families in our community, and it ensures that housing will be well maintained, will be owner occupied, and will remain affordable for a long period of time.
Steinhaus says this was just an informational meeting for community leaders so they can understand the process and how the trust works in Lawrence. Steinhaus says they will meet the rest of the day to figure out the details and what the next steps will be.
Operation Red Wreath kicks off today. This is the Columbia Fire Department's annual effort to prevent holiday fires and raise awareness. The tradition started more than 15 years ago. A large wreath strung with red lights is on display at Fire Station 1 to let people know how many holiday fires there have been. For every holiday fire, a red bulb will be replaced with a white bulb. The goal is to keep the wreath red for the whole season. One common cause of holiday fires is frying turkeys.
That's become very popular in the last few years, and it's also very dangerous if it's left unattended. And many of those fryers are not UL rated, so we need to be very, very careful and make sure those are attended at all times.
Other hazards like unattended cooking, open flames, and dry Christmas trees can also start fires. For a full list of holiday fire hazards, visit our website at KOMU.com. MoDOT employees spent yesterday gearing up for the possibility of snow this afternoon. MoDOT employees prepared 29 snowplows and equipment to get ready to clear the roads. Even though we're not expecting much snow in Columbia, MoDOT still urges drivers to be cautious.
This is the first storm of the season. Just remember that, a small amount of precipitation or liquid on the roadway when those temperatures begin to fall can make roads slick.
MoDOT also reminds drivers to allow for more travel time for their commutes and keep your distance from snowplows. If you have any questions or travel time and weather conditions, check our website at KOMU.com. 2 schools are closing early today because of the weather. Newburgh R2 School will close at 12:45 this afternoon, and Rolla Public Schools will close at 1 p.m. Stay with KOMU on our website, Twitter, and Facebook to stay up to date with all the school closings. The temperature really did drop drastically, and it is cold out there. Rosie has the details.
Thanks, Elena. We do have to get right down to the weather today since it has been such an issue these last few days. We've really had our eyes peeking for what was going to happen today. Doesn't look like much in the way of snow. Check out our satellite and radar composite over the last 12 hours. The pink is what you want to focus on there at the bottom of your screen. That's a wintry mix that's already starting to fall for some of those areas that are already starting to call for an early closing of schools. Temperatures are unbelievable. Right now, it looks like most of us are into the lower 20s. Moberly only crawled to the 20-degree mark in the last couple of minutes. It was already hanging out this morning in the teens. And as compared to yesterday, that's about a 30 to 40 degree temperature drop across most of mid-Missouri. And it's just because we've had such a massive cold front move through our area. We're planning to see things stay very chilly for a good portion of your next 8 days in total. I want to talk a little bit about what we're going to get to today. Looks like lower to middle 20s under cloudy skies, but that chance of snow really has been taken for the most part out of our forecast of mid-Missouri today. The southeastern side of mid-Missouri along the I-44 line is about the only place left at this point that could see a little bit of snow accumulation. Ice is happening for some portions of the state of Missouri, specifically toward the Boot Hill, Cape Girardeau area. So I'll give you a better breakdown as to everything that we're expecting with this snow, the little bit of flurry activity that we still have in the forecast for tomorrow, and when we could get our next chance of snow. All of those details will be coming up in my full forecast in just a few minutes. Elena?
The holidays are upon us, and that can mean tipping those who help us throughout the year. But who should you tip and how much? Later on KOMU 8 News at noon, a few tips when it comes to tipping.